Today, I don't want anything grand, just clarity. We've been gathering too much stuff, explaining too much, carrying weights we don't even know the origin of, just because we think it has to be hard to be worth it. Today, November 25th, I want to extend a different invitation to you. Shall we test a simple day? Less noise, more you. Forget the big transformations, the cosmic portals, and the endless to-do lists for a minute. What the sky asks for today is honesty, not performance. It's the kind of day to take the pebble out of your shoe instead of trying to climb the mountain. The proposal is to clear the noise. Let's look at your routine right now in the morning and apply just one ruler. If it serves, it stays. If it tightens, it goes. I'm going to show you how to take half a step back to see the picture without drowning in the detail. We are going to choose a single thing, not the loudest one, but the most useful one to resolve today. And we are going to give ourselves permission to leave the rest waiting. No drama, no complicated mysticism, just the basics that work and return the air to your lungs. If it feels light, we proceed. If it weighs heavy, we let go. Shall we simplify? Let's start with the basics. You know instinctively when something has expired in the fridge. You open it, you smell it, and you know. You don't fight with the sour milk. You don't try to convince the yogurt to be fresh again. You don't write a text in your notes app justifying why you are going to throw it away. You simply discard it. It is hygiene, not drama. In life, the rule is the same, but we stubbornly complicate it. Today, the first movement to have a simple day is to recognize the sign that it's past time. This sign doesn't come with fireworks, nor with a Homeric fight. We were trained to think that to end something, a project, a conversation, a commitment, a catastrophe needs to happen. There needs to be crying, screaming, or a very serious reason. But today's energy shows you the opposite. The most reliable sign that something is over is not anger. It is disinterest. You know that Facebook thread that's been sitting there, and every time you see it, you just get this overwhelming sense of, It's not hatred for the person. It's just that the energy doesn't flow anymore. The subject has dried up. You know that appointment you made 2 weeks ago, and now that the day has arrived, you would pay not to go? You know that project idea that seemed brilliant on Sunday, but on Tuesday seems heavy and dull. This is your system saying, expired. The problem is that instead of respecting the sign, we try to save the situation. We try to reignite the flame by force. We force ourselves to be nice, to be productive, to be consistent with who we were yesterday. This generates noise. This clogs your day. Today, I want you to use a very simple ruler to measure what stays and what goes. It is the 3-paragraph rule. It works like this. If you need 3 mental paragraphs to justify why you are doing something or why you are going to say no to something, it is because it no longer fits. The truth is short. The honest yes is quick. I want to go. I'll do it. I'm in. The honest no is also quick. I can't. Today doesn't work. But when you start rehearsing the speech, well, you see, I even wanted to, but my week was hard, and the traffic, and my aunt. Stop. You are trying to wrap your refusal in gift paper so the other person doesn't get upset. Or worse, you are trying to convince yourself that you still want something you no longer want. If it needs a lot of explanation, it is because the soul has already left the room. The second part of the ruler is somatic. It is the body test. Does it breathe better? or does it tighten? Do not ignore the intelligence of your stomach. Your body is a sincere animal. It doesn't know how to lie socially. Think about the task you have to do today. Bring its image to your head now. What happens to your air? Does the chest open a little? Does the air come in? Is there a feeling of space, even if the task is boring? If so, great. It's useful. It stays. Or does the opposite happen? Does the stomach tie a subtle knot? Does the jaw lock? Does the shoulder go up a centimeter? Does the breathing get short? This is the tightness. The tightness is the body saying, I don't have battery for this. This is toxic for me right now. This diminishes me. Today, the invitation is to respect the tightness. If it tightened, you have two honest options. Cancel, the cleanest option. Renegotiate. Change the deadline, change the format, ask for help. What you cannot do today is ignore the tightness and drag it out. Because that is where the simple day turns into a dragged-out day. That is where you end Tuesday exhausted with the feeling that you were run over by your own routine. It is not a fight, it is disinterest. It is not drama, it is an expired deadline. Look at your schedule today. Look at the unread messages. Where is the tightness? Where is the long explanation? Be honest. No one is looking. Admit to yourself, this is done. When you clear what has expired from the front, space remains for what is fresh. And what is fresh doesn't weigh. What is fresh helps you walk. After identifying what has expired, the second movement for a simple day is geographical. I'm not talking about traveling, I'm talking about changing your position in relation to the problem. Have you noticed that when you are trying to thread a needle, the closer you bring your face, the more your hand shakes? Or when you are glued to an impressionist painting, all you see are meaningless blobs of paint? Life is the same. Most of our anxiety comes from a distance error. We are too close. We have our noses pressed against the problem. We are inside the phone's screen. We are mixed with the other person's emotion. When you are too close, you don't see the picture. You see the pixel. And the pixel is scary because it has no context. It is just an isolated point of tension. Today, the proposal is the half step back. It is not turning your back and running away. Running away is abandonment. The half step back is perspective. It is that physical and mental movement of retreating half a step so that your field of vision opens up. Suddenly, you don't just see the jammed lock. You see the whole door. And often you see that the window next to it is open. How to apply this in the practice of your Tuesday? Start with communication. We live in an addiction to immediate response. The phone beeps, the body jumps. Someone asks, we answer before thinking. It is the ping-pong of stress. The half step back is the sacred interval between the stimulus and the response. Did a message arrive that irritated you? The impulse is to type fast. Defend yourself. Explain. Attack. Stop. Take half a step back. Put the phone on the table. Look at the ceiling. Breathe deeply once. In that 10-second interval, the anger chemistry drops. Your prefrontal cortex, the smart part, starts working again. You look at the message again and realize this is not an attack. It is just a confused person. Or this is not urgent. It can wait until 2 p.m. By taking this step back, you recover your sovereignty. You stop being an automatic reflex of the world and become the owner of your voice again. The golden rule here is responding less is responding better. In a hurry, we send 3 confusing audio messages to explain a simple thing. With the retreat, we send a sentence that resolves everything. Haste generates noise. The pause generates precision. The half step back also works for your emotions. You wake up feeling a weight, a sadness, or a diffuse anxiety. If you are too close, you become the anxiety. You say, "I am anxious." You merge with the feeling. If you take half a step back, you become the observer. You say, "I am feeling a wave of anxiety passing through me." Do you see the difference? It is subtle, but it changes everything. "I am" traps you. "I am feeling" frees you, because what you feel is temporary, but the one who observes is permanent. Today, try to see your day as a movie. You are not the character running desperately on the screen. You are the director sitting in the chair. The director doesn't run. He observes the scene and says, "Cut" or "Continue." When you assume this posture, the world's artificial urgency collapses. You realize that 90% of the things that seem like a matter of life or death in your head are just Tuesday. They are just things happening. This healthy distance is what allows the door to appear. The door, the solution, the exit, the relief, is never where we are looking with excessive force. It is in the peripheral vision. It appears when we relax our focus. So today, before diving headfirst into the next task or the next argument, do the test. Push the chair away from the table. Breathe. Look around. Ask yourself, what is really happening here? You will see the monster shrink in size. You will see the task is smaller than it seemed. You will see you don't need to run. No rush. The world waits for your 10 seconds, and the answer you give after this silence will be worth much more than the noise you would make in the rush. Retreat. Breathe. See the picture. The exit is right there. You already cleared what expired. You already took the step back to gain perspective. Now you look at what is left in front of you. Probably it is still a lot. Our natural tendency, when we want to simplify, is to try to do everything faster. We think a productive day is one where we cross off 10 items from the list. We run, sweat, respond, deliver, and arrive at the end of the day feeling like we were run over by a truck, but with the pride of having been very busy. Today, the proposal is the opposite. Today is not about speed, it is about choice. To have a simple day, you need to accept a mathematical truth. You are not going to do everything. And if you try, you will do everything poorly, or you will do everything at the cost of your sanity. The rule of this chapter is just one thing, but it is not just anything. The secret is not in the number 1, it is in the quality of that one. Most people choose what to do based on the scream, the email that arrived with the red urgent stripe, the text message that is beeping, the dishes piled up, the bill due today. These things scream. They hijack your attention by noise, and you spend the day putting out fires, reacting to the loudest scream. Today, I want you to ignore the scream and look for the useful. Choose one thing that pays you back. What does that mean? There are tasks that are just expenses. You do them, spend energy, and it's over. Washing dishes is an expense. Necessary, but an expense. Answering routine emails is an expense. But there are tasks that are investments. They are those things that, after being done, return energy to you. They leave you lighter. They take a mental weight off your shoulders that you had been carrying for weeks. They open a new path. The useful is usually silent. It doesn't beep on the phone. It is that important pending item you are postponing because it requires thinking. It is that text you want to write. It is that difficult conversation that will unlock the project. It is that financial organization that will give you peace for the rest of the month. This single thing has a characteristic. The relief it generates is disproportionate to the time it takes. You can spend 8 hours answering emails and end the day empty. Or you can spend 45 minutes resolving the useful thing and end the day feeling like you conquered the world. Today, your mission is to identify that thing. Ask yourself, what is the one thing that if I finish today, will make everything else seem less important or easier? Usually, it is the thing you are avoiding. It is the frog you have to swallow. When you choose this single thing, you make a peace agreement with your mind. You say, look, I know there are 10 other pending things, but today, my honor commitment is with this one here. The rest is bonus. This takes the pressure off. This kills performance anxiety. You sit, you focus, you do. And the rest waits. This is the hard part. Letting the rest wait requires courage. It requires you to endure seeing the notification there, sitting, and not clicking. It requires you to say no to the other's urgency, to say yes to your priority. But here is the magic of a simple day. One clear hit is worth more than 5 half starts. It is worth more to finish one important thing with quality, with presence, with your head in the right place, than to start 5 things, leave them all lukewarm, and end the day with a head full of loose ends. The human brain hates loose ends. They consume RAM memory. When you close an important cycle, when you finish the single thing, you free up memory. Your processor gets faster, your mood improves, the air comes in. So, look at your Tuesday now. Get the noise out of the way. Push others' urgencies to the corner of the table. And put your useful target in the center. It can be something small. It can be schedule the doctor. It can be pay the fee. It can be write the paragraph. The size doesn't matter. The weight that comes off your back when you finish matters. Do that thing. Do it well. Do it calmly. And when you finish, feel the payment land in your energetic account. Feel the profit. The day was already worth it. Everything that comes after is profit. This is how we get off the hamster wheel and start walking in a straight line, one right step at a time. After clearing the schedule and choosing the single task, the filter of a simple day reaches the most delicate part, people. Maybe you don't realize it, but a large part of the noise in your life doesn't come from the things you do, but from the interactions you sustain. We were trained to believe that being a good person means being available all the time. It means answering fast, listening to a colleague's 3-hour vent, smiling when you don't want to, and keeping the conversation spinning to avoid the awkwardness of silence. Today, this rule falls. To have a simple day, you need to step down from the stage, and you need to stop being the audience for other people's stages. You will notice that when you decide to simplify life, some relationships start to hiss. These are the connections not based on exchange, but on performance. You know that person who only seeks you out to dump a monologue about their problems? They don't want a conversation. They want an audience. They need you to be there to validate their drama. The moment you decide to stay quiet or say, I can't listen today, they get offended. They demand. Today, the rule is clear. Whoever needs a stage every minute, not today. It's not that you stopped liking the person, it's that today your battery doesn't sustain the theater lighting. You need to save energy. This leads us to the definitive test of relationships in a simple day. The silence test. Think of the people you interact with. Which of them can you stay in silence with, in the same room or on the same call, without the mood getting heavy? With whom can you simply be, without feeling the obligation to fill the void with smart or nice words? These are the people who stay. A good relationship breathes. It has space. It withstands the pause. If silence generates panic, if you feel you need to talk all the time to keep the bond alive, that is not connection. It is effort. And today is not a day for extra effort. Today, give yourself the right to direct conversation. Direct conversation is not rude. It is economical. It is the freedom to say, I need to focus here right now. Can we talk later? Without fear that the other person thinks you are angry. It is the freedom to reply to a message with a short and sincere audio note instead of typing a text full of emojis to soften the truth. It is the freedom to not have an opinion on everything. Someone asks you what you think about the controversy of the day, and you answer, I didn't see it. And today, my head is elsewhere. Feel the relief of not needing to have an opinion. Feel the rest of not needing to be interesting. You will realize that by adopting this more retreated and honest posture, a natural sorting happens. People who feed on drama will move away. They will look for another energy source, another lit stage. Let them go. This is not loss, it is hygiene. But the people who really like you, your unedited version, your tired version, your simple version, they will stay. They will understand your rhythm. They might even thank you because your calm gives them permission to rest their performance too. A different kind of affection emerges, affection without demand. It is that message that says, just passing by to say hi, no need to reply. It is the meeting where you can just walk side by side. It is the relationship that doesn't ask you for emotional income tax. Today, surround yourself with those who let you breathe. If someone crowds you, use the half step back. Use the not now. Protect your simple day. Your circle may seem smaller at the end of the day, but it will be infinitely lighter. And whoever stays, it's because they fit in your real life, not just your edited life. When you clear the noise of expired deadlines, step away from drama, and choose only what is useful, something curious happens to your mind. The empty space you created doesn't stay empty for long. It is filled, but not by noise. It is filled by clarity. The fifth movement of a simple day is the phenomenon of the whole idea. You know when you spend days trying to solve a problem, forcing your brain, drawing mind maps, and nothing works. And then, the moment you give up and go wash the dishes or take a shower, the answer drops into your lap. It doesn't come in pieces. It doesn't come as a doubt. It comes whole, beginning, middle, and end. This happens because your antenna stopped picking up the static of others' urgency. Today, pay attention to these moments. When the mind goes silent, a solution will appear. It could be an idea for work, an answer to a difficult message, or simply the memory of something you need to do. The rule here is, do not complicate what arrived simple. The tendency of our tired mind is to take this clear idea and start adding, what if, but, could it be? Don't do that. When the idea comes, write it down in 2 sentences. Don't write a book. 2 sentences. I will call so-and-so and propose X. I will move the furniture to free up space. And then, the most important part, execute the first step today, small and possible. If the idea is to talk to someone, send a hi. If the idea is to write, open the file and put the title. If the idea is to organize, move the first pile of paper out of the way. The whole idea asks for a minimal gesture. It doesn't want you to stop your life, to attend to it. It just wants to know if you are listening. When you act fast and small on a clarity you received, you validate your intuition. You feel a quiet satisfaction, very different from tiring euphoria. It is the feeling of fitting into place. No need to force it. If no big idea comes today, that's okay too. The silence is already the answer. But if it comes, receive it with simplicity. Write it down, do the minimum, and move on. No meetings with yourself, no 5-hour strategic planning. Just the insight and the action. Simple as that. We have reached the end of the simple day. You cleared what expired, took the step back, chose one useful thing, and sorted the relationships. Now you need to close the door. We are not going to do a complex ritual. Simple days ask for simple endings. If you light candles, chant mantras, or try to create a mood now, you will be adding noise again. You will be performing spirituality instead of just resting. Today's seal is just a marker. It is your body's way of knowing that the shift of trying to control the world is over. Wherever you are, stand up for a minute. It can be in the bedroom, in the kitchen, on the balcony. Stand up. Relax your arms. Do not close your eyes to meditate. Keep your eyes open, soft. Look at your day like someone looking at a room that has just been tidied. Maybe it isn't perfect. Maybe there are still things out of place, but it is habitable. It is lighter than it was in the morning. Breathe deep once. Feel the air enter and exit without effort. And then say the Access phrase a single time, aloud but quietly, just for you to hear. It is not a request to the universe. It is a reminder to your nervous system. Say, I keep what does me good. Stop. Stay in silence for 10 seconds. Let the phrase settle. I keep what does me good. The rest slides off. The rest waits. The rest is not your problem now. Do not repeat. Do not explain why you said that. Do not try to convince anyone. Done. The day is sealed. You took off the load. You did the maintenance. Now you have permission to switch off. If the day became lighter, carry on. If there is still something heavy, let go. Do not take to bed what didn't fit in the day. Remember that simplicity is not a lack of ambition. It is a long-term strategy. When you remove the excess, what remains gains strength. You don't need epic days all the time to build a good life. You need possible days, days that end with you whole and not shattered. The cure for modern exhaustion is not to stop everything and run away to a mountain. It is learning to live your Tuesday without carrying the weight of the world on your back. Today, you proved it is possible. You proved that the world doesn't end if you say no. You proved that life goes on even when you slow down. Keep this feeling of space. It is your new standard. Tomorrow, when the noise tries to return, and it will try, you already know the way back to the simple. Tomorrow, we'll see the rest. Tomorrow, the sun rises again. The to-do list will be there, and the world will keep turning. But today, you did the most important thing. You stopped fighting with life and started walking with it. That is all. Less noise, more you. Rest well.